and honestly, it's really great to see anybody these days. Welcome to my bedroom. This is the room in my house with the best light, and I'm sure you're all watching this from your sofas or your dining room tables. So thank you for being here. We'll start the presentation in about 10 minutes, but first I invite you to settle in, pour your favorite libation. We recommend the AIA Atrium Spritzer. Recipe in the comments below, illustration by Matt Jordan. And take a moment to reflect on all the beautiful projects that were submitted for this year's award series. Since we tend to be a pretty competitive group, we're running a series of competitions during the presentation. This is a great opportunity for us to have some fun and engage. So contest number 1, best and worst dressed. We're obviously all at home watching this on our sofas, so show us your best red carpet meets couch attire. I, for example, am wearing sequins with sneakers because I have to wear sneakers these days to chase my small children around the house. So transform your robe into something glamorous or dress nicely with nowhere to go just to help you feel human again. They all count. Number 2, best cocktail presentation and recipe. So photograph your drink, put the recipe below, do a little sketch, make it architectural, we'll eat that up. Contest number 3, best firm engagement. This is not necessarily the largest firm. This is the number of attendees participating live. So attendance counts, posts, photographs, and general engagement on social media. So your opportunities are to post on Facebook or on Instagram with the hashtag AIA Cozy Gala. One more time, hashtag AIA Cozy Gala. Now's your chance, so go get posting. We'll see you back here in 10. Thanks. All right, welcome back. Nice posting, you guys. Keep them coming. And hey, if you do win an award, be sure to snap a photo of yourself receiving the award in some prestigious manner. Get the kids, get the pets involved. The more the merrier. Hello to our AIA East Tennessee chapter, and greetings to our architecture-loving community who are joining us this afternoon. A quick introduction is in order for anyone new to the AIA. The American Institute of Architects is the national professional organization for architects with tiers at the state and local levels. The East Tennessee chapter serves 25 communities with roughly 300 members. We support the architects in our region, and we value the collaboration of our partners in the construction industry and appreciate everyone in our community striving for a thoughtful and well-designed built environment. Hey, Matthew.
Oh, hey Diana.
Glad you're here. Good to see you. I'm Diana Osicki, the AIA East Tennessee chapter president, and I'm here in my sequins and sneakers with Matthew DeBartoleben. Can I just say how proud I was the first time I pronounced his name correctly? It's kind of a big deal. Anyway, this is Matthew's second year serving in a planning capacity at the design jury chair level. It is important that the person in this role is an advocate for architecture, but not necessarily practicing in a firm who may be entering projects.
Diana, I am proud to be an advocate for architecture. Advocate both for the places that are created as well as for the profession. I never thought I would lead with this, but I am an advocate for health and safety in design and construction. It's important, and the times that we are living in right now are a stark reminder of this. When I think of being an advocate for architecture, I'm reminded of what architect Craig Dykers with Snoetta shared during his lecture at our 2015 state convention right here in Knoxville, Tennessee. No one walks into a building and says, "What a great concept!" Most of us do not recognize design until it fails. Bad design makes us feel less human. Good design has the potential to make us feel more humane. I am an advocate for architecture because I'm an advocate of places. By places, I mean context, contextualization. I regularly remember Frank Harmon's words from the AIA convention in 2014, which was my first, where Frank Harmon claimed that the most important part of a building is its place. Let that sink in for a moment. Finally, as an advocate of architecture, I want to encourage those of you in the profession with the words that architect Billy Shin shared with us at the University of Tennessee at one of the design lectures. She concluded that the aim of her practice is to be of service. Cheers, and AIA Cozy Gala.
If you've never attended an AIA East Tennessee Design Awards Gala in the past, I'll set the tone. It's our chapter's biggest night of the year, in which we dress in our best and look forward to an evening of cocktails, delicious food, and great company in a relaxed and fun environment. The anticipation is high as awards are kept disclosed until the awards program begins. We typically honor the gold medal and Friend of Architecture recipients, as well as the newly licensed architects. This year, due to obvious circumstances, we are focusing our online watch party on the design award winners and will acknowledge the personal distinctions at an in-person event planned later this year. We know the last couple of months have been an extraordinary challenging time in the professional and personal lives of everyone joining us today. The anxiety is high for the health of our economy, our loved ones, and our daily lives. Once we arrive on the other side of this period, I challenge you to consider what your new normal looks like and how might the design industry be impacted by this pandemic and the great pause in our society. In the meantime, if you've been working from home with a baby on your hip or a cat on your keyboard, know that as an essential worker, the hours you're putting in are important to the continued effort of each firm to contribute to our community. Thank you. Let's raise a glass to support and love during these unprecedented times. April is typically our busiest time of the year with our full calendar of Knoxville by Design events. I'd like Richard Foster to jump on and give us an update as to what we can expect in 2021.
Hi, Diana. And hello, folks. Thank you for joining us for the Cozy Gala. Knoxville by Design 2020 was going to be legendary. And I guess you will just have to take my word on that. Now, as you know, KBD grew out of our events centered around National Architecture Week. And over the years, we've grown into a full month of events with many allied partners. So for the first time, April 2020 was designated by our governor as Architecture Month in Tennessee. We felt like that was a pretty big deal. And while we couldn't be together, I do hope you all enjoyed celebrating our state's first Architecture Month safe and healthy in your own homes. You know, I loved hearing Matthew's comments a few moments ago on architecture. His passion exemplifies why we do it. We believe that making great places matters to people and to communities, and it will continue to matter. And that's why we will be back in 2021 better than ever. The planning committee began pivoting right away to identify dates and locations for next year's events. We didn't want to miss a beat. And while I am not ready to lock in our dates today, I do want to hit some of our high points. But before I do, let me say thank you to our committee who put hundreds, if not thousands of hours of passion and energy and pivot. Well, that's just not easy. You guys are awesome. Thank you for everything you do. Now, for our events, we always kick off with our first Friday art salon to coincide with downtown's art walk. Now, this is great news for you procrastinators. If you wanted to submit something last year, or the year before, or the year before that, and you just couldn't find the time, well, now's your chance. You have 10 months to create something amazing, and we are all looking forward to seeing what you make. There is hardly a better way to spend a beautiful spring Saturday afternoon than looking through other people's modern homes. Am I right? This year, we had some really terrific homes lined up for the tour. We expect most of them, and hopefully a few new ones, will agree to share their homes next year, especially since we are now partnering with U.S. Modernists to help promote our event to their members nationwide. We are excited to bring back the popular walking tour next year in partnership with Knox Heritage as our new annual Sights and Stories event to highlight local architecture and history. And of course, Design Slam and the Symposium will be back, both of which have grown to work in collaboration with the Community Collaborative, which focuses its collective effort each year on a specific community in Knoxville. We will see the return of Trivia Night with IIDA and the People's Choice vote leading up to the awards gala. Now, before I go, let me tell you about one of the events that I'm really excited about. And so is the planning committee because they have had a lot of fun coming up with ideas. It is Knox Bricks and Brews. This grew out of our popular kid-focused event, Knox Bricks and Blocks, that we do in partnership with Beyond a Brick every year. It pairs architects and designers with school-age kids to design a city out of Legos. Well, next year, during Dogwood Arts, we will host our first pop-up brick bar at the Square Room for adults who love Legos. This is all about having fun with low-pressure Lego builds with some fun award categories. Now, over the next month or two, we will relaunch our KBD site for 2021 with our new dates for you to put in your calendars. I hope you will plan to join us. To get notified of this announcement, sign up for our emails at knoxbydesign.org. Thanks, everyone. Stay safe. And Diana, back to you.
Thank you, Richard. Okay, so we've got some really great things to look forward to in 2021. Okay, let's get the party started. I know you're anxious to find out who the award winners are. A big thank you to everybody who took the time to put together the award submission, and let's get the party started. Matthew?
This year's Knoxville by Design Awards submissions include 31 projects submitted by 14 architectural firms. All firms are proud members of the East Tennessee chapter of the American Institute of Architects. It is my privilege to introduce the jury chair for the 2020 Knoxville by Design Awards. Afterwards, She will make some general comments, introduce the jury, and present our awards. Jennifer Charzewski is a principal at Leolio Architecture in Charleston, South Carolina. She describes herself as a mom of 3 hilarious boys, an art enthusiast, and believes that design matters. Jennifer is a graduate of Texas A&M University and the University of Minnesota. She is a past president of AIA Charleston and worked with AIA South Carolina to establish a committee for equity in architecture in South Carolina. I had an agenda when I went looking for a jury chair this year. I wanted to find an architect whose work demonstrates that architecture is about people. I wanted to find an architect whose work involves public spaces, hospitals, libraries, airports, civic places. Finally, I wanted to find an architect who is an advocate for the profession. I am proud to introduce you to our 2020 Knoxville by Design Awards jury chair, Jennifer Charzewski.
Hello everyone, it is my distinct honor to be able to address you for the AIA East Tennessee 2020 Design Awards. We certainly find ourselves in unprecedented times, and we applaud your chapter for having the show go online. We all know that the practice of architecture is a team sport, not a solitary endeavor, and thus it's not particularly well suited to individual quarantine. We have witnessed remarkable grit and resilience within our professional community over recent weeks as firms and studios and individuals have transitioned to remote work from home and community outreach in the midst of a global pandemic. It has been wonderful to think of the world's 3D printers humming with the production of life-saving protective gear for our frontline healthcare workers. As design thinkers, architects possess a unique toolkit for problem solving, envisioning new ways of being human in this world and serving our communities. Our footing feels uncertain at times, and it is critical for everyone to maintain awareness of mental, emotional, and physical health, as our tendency is to strive for as much business as usual as possible. From this uncertain footing, though, we have the opportunity to look toward new horizons, and it will be fascinating to see how we approach the places that people live, work, and play in the future. With this great pause, let us be purposeful in taking the opportunity to ask, what if? Due to the COVID-19 quarantine, our jury also convened virtually. We were able to meet for several hours, sharing screens and talking about the truly remarkable work that was submitted for this year's program. I'd like to introduce my fellow jury members. Margie Longshore AIA has practiced architecture in Charleston for the last 20 years, and last year became a principal and owner with Stubbs, Muldrow, Hare & Architects. She has served on AIA South Carolina's Board of Directors, as the state's design director, as past president of AIA Charleston, and is a graduate of Auburn University. Margie's work celebrates the rich architectural and cultural context of the Lowcountry and focuses on adaptive reuse, renovation, and educational projects. Julia Martin, AIA, is principal at Julia F. Martin Architects and a member of Charleston's Board of Architectural Review. Her 13-year-old practice focuses on preservation, urban infill, and adaptive reuse in residential and commercial work. Julia practices at the nexus of the academic and the pragmatic, seeking meaningful solutions to complex design issues that inevitably arise in a historic urban environment. A native of Charleston, Allison Dawson AIA is well aware that change is constant and takes pride in being part of the conversations and solutions required to meet the challenges of rapidly growing areas. Her work is rooted in thoughtful investigation, and her expertise is focused on community design, adaptive reuse, and historic preservation. Finally, Andy Clark, AIA, is a principal with Leolio Architecture. He is past president of both AIA Charleston and AIA South Carolina, and his commitment to public service permeates his professional life. Andy is Leolio's higher education design leader, and as an educator and mentor, he supports the professional development of the next generation of our colleagues, recently teaching a design studio at Clemson University focused on resilience and community connectivity. It was a pleasure to serve with these thoughtful and talented design professionals, and we enjoyed collectively a diversity of perspectives that generated great discussions on each project. The AIA East Tennessee chapter membership is to be commended for a body of submittals that indicate an engaged and enlightened design community and wonderful clients who clearly celebrate the region. We note especially that many of the projects use targeted design to leverage the project budget to a great outcome, and that is a very large achievement. As feedback, we would encourage all submissions to use people in the photos of the project, as they contribute greatly in terms of scale and engagement. Entrants should focus on distilling their entry to clearly tell the story of the project using its best imagery, and more inclusion of images that place the completed building within its context are encouraged. We are thrilled to help you celebrate tonight's Design Award winners and recognize clearly remarkable collaborations with wonderful clients.
We applaud the emerging professionals for participating in the Parking Day program in a thoughtful and creative way. A citation for community engagement goes to McCarty Wholesale McCarty for Living Lattice. The client is Beardsley Community Farm, and the contractor is Blaine Construction Company. Next, we have the Architectural Interiors Design category. This tiny space is brought to life with special details. We appreciate the use of humble materials and simple moves to create a vibrant and energizing workspace. The dog tessellation installation is fantastic. This project demonstrates that even the smallest scope projects can have a huge impact through the power of thoughtful design. A Citeriors goes to Barber McMurray Architects for Radio Systems Engineering Design Gym. The client is Radio Systems Corporation. The contractor is Christopoulos and Kennedy Construction. The next project is a simple insertion that is very effective and is a creative use of a long, narrow space. The organizational partie, which sorts the variety of functions as well as creating a rhythm of solid and void, provides a clean and organized space that is nicely detailed and executed. The jury notes the very nice diagrams and the details such as the pop-up counter display. A merit award goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Bluen Botanicals Wellness Center. The client is Bluen Botanicals. The contractor is Build Knox. That concludes the Architectural Interiors category. Next is the Residential category. This project does a commendable job of respecting the character of the existing house while creating a very nice surprise as the addition reveals itself. The simple palette of materials is successfully executed, and the continuity of these materials in a new expression is a very nice move. The jury also appreciates the design organization centered around providing accessibility. A merit award goes to Curb for Slip Stitch. The contractor is Spratt Construction. We greatly appreciate the distinctive and novel concepts presented in this next submittal. Evocative photography and sketches tell the story of this house, which is clearly a unique representation of its owners. This project is highly responsive to the geography, and we'd all love to visit for the unfolding experience it provides. An honor award goes to Curb for Eclipse Residence. The contractor is Mike Stevens. That concludes the residential category. The next category is renovation and restoration. This entry has very successful and clear before and after compilations that provide a good understanding of the moves. We like the detailing of the facade insertions, and this is a thoughtful and nicely articulated transformation of the streetscape. A citation for streetscape redevelopment goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Elst Brewing and Elstware Tasting Room. The client is Elst Brewing Company. The contractor is Holston Construction and McNabb Modern Construction. This next project is a thoughtful modification of a dignified vintage structure. Bold design moves, like removing exterior walls, were successful and will doubtless contribute to the public's enjoyment of the facility in its new incarnation. the pavilion and restrooms as supporting players are equally impressive and notably well executed. A merit award goes to Johnson Architecture for Marble Hall and Marble Pavilion. The client is Lakeshore Park Board. The contractor is Denark Construction. It is an admirable and impressive effort to save these derelict historic structures. The jury commends the thorough documentation and clear presentation of the rehabilitation work. It is wonderful to see these structures brought back to life, and the technical complexity in this achievement is clear. A merit award goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Log Haven Artist Residency Artist Cabins. The client is the Aslan Foundation, and the contractor is Johnson & Galen Construction. Finally, for this category, we have this true restoration, which is an incredible undertaking after such a severe loss, and it's impressive that the original artist was able to return and properly recreate the exquisite mosaics. The balance of the restoration project, including architectural and building systems elements, were thoughtfully considered to minimize visual clutter and defer to the masterful artwork of the mosaics. An honor award goes to Barber McMurray Architects for St. George Greek Orthodox Church. The client is St. George Greek Orthodox Church. The contractor is Johnson & Galen Construction. That concludes the rent and restoration category. Our final category is awards for new construction. The elegance of this project lies in its simplicity. The decisions made regarding siting and materials, as well as a practiced restraint in detail and execution, allow these structures to resonate in a beautiful site and possess grace and clarity both inside and out. A merit award goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Log Haven Artist Residency, Fine Arts and Performing Arts Studios. The landscape architect is Stephen W. Hackney Landscape Architects. The client is the Aslan Foundation. The contractor is Johnson & Galen Construction. Part of the success of this next project is the way it reconciles its program and site. We appreciate the graceful incorporation of parking under the building and the organization of the party in both plan and section. The project really sings in its exterior and interior details and finishes, which are well conceived and refined and contribute to a beautiful whole. An honor award goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Dominion Group. The landscape architect is Hedstrom Design. The client is Dominion Group, and the contractor is Dominion Group. The final project we're recognizing tonight appears simple at first look, but contains deceptively complex details, which are executed to appear almost effortless. The siting and the material palette are very thoughtful. The reinterpretation and reimagining of the historic log cabins is evident, while still presenting as a structure of its time and place. The light wells and backlit louvered gable end are especially successful. The jury commends the use of a section perspective. This project is beautiful in its restraint and grace. An honor award goes to Sanders Pace Architecture for Log Haven Artist Residency Gateway Building. The client is the Aslan Foundation. The contractor is Johnson & Galen Construction.
And the winner of the 2020 People's Choice Award goes to Regal Cinnabar in Westtown Mall. Architect, MBI Companies. Client is Regal Entertainment Group. And the general contractor was Blaylock Construction. Congratulations, everybody. Woohoo! Congratulations to all the award winners. It's been a really fun event. I wish we could be together in person, but given the circumstances, this has worked out pretty well. Thank you to everyone who worked to make this effort a reality. A big thank you to Matthew, to Richard, to Jennifer and the entire jury, and a huge high five, woohoo, to our Gala and Knoxville by Design Committee, who really had to spin on a dime to pull this off. A thank you to our reliable partners who kept their sponsorship intact even after our plans changed. Ackerman PR, Dollar & Ewers Architecture, Kone Elevator, Lewis Tom Nathana, Proficient Engineering, Risk Strategies, Ross Bryan Associates, and Window and Door Concepts. Big thank you to everyone out there, and a huge thank you to our extended community that in normal circumstances, you would not have been able to experience this with us. We're so glad you were here. Thank you to everybody.